behavior, please. Very important to point out. My pocket-sized arch nemesis, that is Amy.
Guys, I don't know what he's talking about. I'm actually a very decent human being and giving.
That's right. It's your cousin.
Bob, you can vouch.
He's kind of taking.
Oh, ouch. All right. All right. Okay. I see where the lines lie.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's starting to happen now. It's becoming clear. So here we go, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining today, DigitalPNA. This is, like it says here, it's 100% online, 100% new. Actually, it's now a year and a half old, but it's a whole new level of exposure because for those of you who don't know, this is the first of its kind for PNA Northwest. It is, as it says, 100% online. It's also open category. So technically speaking, no one can rest on their laurels because opportunities that come our way could potentially go to someone that does what you do. That's me. That's my face. I'm president this year, running through the chapter. I'll spare you all and move on quickly. I just want to showcase here, as you can see by the screen, we have a couple of folks that aren't here today, but also a bunch of folks that are, including some very cool guests. So thank you all for being here. And I want to point out why there's so much red on this. Also for our guests, I believe highly in rewarding members organization-wide to help the entire company grow, whether it's a brick and mortar physical location or like it says, or like we're here, DigitalPNA. For the DigitalPNA members, if you find anyone that's willing to join and wanting to join, I give you $100 as a way of saying thank you. And no other networking group does that anywhere, at least not at the stupid level that I do. So it's just an incentive. And if you know folks that you think might fit the mold here, well, then send them our way. We need some volunteers. Every time we meet, we ask people to, well, either volunteer or voluntold. Pick something you want to do. And I know that detracts from your full attention to the meeting, but you can spin your chair around. You can use your phone. You can do a selfie. If you want to do some photography things, snag a screen share, something fun that happens throughout the meeting, or a couple of them, and then send them to me. And we just have fun with it. Occasionally we'll do posts or email the whole group saying, you know, look at what's happening, etc. It's just fun. It's a sneaky way of also knowing if you pay attention. Speaking of paying attention, tracker. I need to get a volunteer, excuse me, for the tracker position. Someone might do some data point dropping. They might drop some numbers, things people might say, might make fun quotables that we can use for the group. Things along those lines. Also, if there's any reporting regarding closed business, maybe document that in case it was missed. The doodler, honestly, we give you permission to play. We've had some really funny doodles. We've had people sketching one another. One guy went all out and it was, well, let's be honest, it looked like Picasso. We all had eyeballs on one side of the face, but it was still fun. If you want to be a doodler, raise your hand for that. And then the timer roll, I'll actually take today because I've got the color background screens. So who would like to volunteer for either of or any of these roles? And I don't see all the faces, so speak up if you'd like to as well, please.
I'm waiting to let someone else have the chance, but
Well,
I will always doodle tracker photograph, but I want to give other people a chance.
Marcel is speaking today, so I'd rather not have her take a role because we need her focused, laser focused. I'm going to start volunteering in about 30 seconds here, if not less. Dun, dun, dun. All right, Amy, be our photographer.
All right.
Pretty please. Bob, can you track? Yes, sir. Okay. And anybody want to be the doodler? Ricardo actually might be with a client. I'm
here. Sorry. I'm here. Sorry. I can doodle.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. See, that wasn't so hard, people. We're all, well, somewhat adults here. There we go. Next up is going to be commercials. I'm going to take this away in just a hot second because we are going to combine the commercial about your business and the tangent, which I want you to work into your commercial. So again, for our guests, you're speaking about what your business is. Of course, if you have a business, maybe something that separates you from your competition. If you have a specific ask, a goal to hit this month, you're looking for X, Y, Z. And the tangent is very simply, but this is something that's really important to think about and talk about today. What do you prefer in your business? Do you prefer the marketing side of business or do you prefer the sales? Which means, of course, earning income, then working with the client, etc. Which really is your like versus maybe something you don't like as much. So think about that. Which do you prefer, marketing or sales, and why? And then, of course, the commercial itself. Who are you? What do you do? Maybe something that separates you from the competition. So I killed the share. It's back to all of your lovely faces, even that one guy. I'm going to go ahead and put the advertisement order in the chat window, but let's start with Bob, put him on the spot, and then I'll finish out the list in the window.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bob Wolverton. My company is toptierleadershiptraining.com, and I do leadership training. I help managers become the antithesis of most leaders. By that, I mean I transform managers into the boss that everyone wants to work for, the boss who creates trust, inspiration, and empowerment. And spoiler alert, when you know the tools how to do that, it's easier than you think. If you'd like to find out more, toptierleadershiptraining.com.
Thank you. And the tangent, Bob, even though you did sing for us.
I always forget the tangent. I even wrote it down. I keep forgetting the tangent. So marketing versus sales. I know nothing about sales. That's a completely foreign land for me. So I would go into the marketing aspect, but really both of them, not my cup of tea. But if I had to pick one or the other, it would definitely be the marketing. Do the videos, do that sort of stuff, get people to know, like, and trust you before they even pick up a phone to call you or send you an email. That's the part that I do like, the creative part of doing the videos. So I'll go for the marketing side. One in the marketing column. Next.
I'm with you, Bob. Hey, this is Marcel Allen with Dreamosity, and I am the author of a book called Financial Joy, which is ironically a sales and marketing book, because at the end of the day, all my clients with social media, they're like, well, what's the point of all this video and all this marketing? And it's like, well, if you're managing your money well, there should be a net profit at the end of the month from all that sales and marketing. Lately at Dreamosity, I've been helping people actually develop a sales process or a sales flow and really figuring out which videos fit into which part of that sales process. But social media, it's a complicated, wonderful beast. And I'm talking more about that today for my presentation. And my ask is, I just did a remarkable Reels presentation. It's about 45 minutes. I recorded it and I have it on YouTube. So I'll drop the link in later, but I'm asking people to share it because, well, one, watch it if you've got time. I promise you'll learn more than anything on Netflix or Amazon Prime to help you develop digital you. So I'll get that link. And if you'll watch it and maybe share it with a couple friends or a cool community that you're part of, I would really appreciate it.
Awesome. Ricardo,
I did, and all the things moved, and then they were up at the top, and I couldn't see them anymore, and I forgot it was me. Anyways, Ricardo, Expedia Cruises, we are out here helping people just explore and finally get out there in the world after 3 years of not being able to do that, and it's been incredibly busy, which is fantastic. We all know someone who needs a vacation and deserves a vacation and just hasn't planned a vacation. So that's what we're here for here at Expedia Cruises. So tangents, I'm definitely, marketing is not my bag. Sales is much more active and allows me to get in front of people. Anytime I'm not actually in front of someone, I'm not living up to my full potential. So put me squarely in the sales column.
there you go. Awesome.
All right, my turn. Woo! So as Brian has mentioned a few times, Amy with Movement Mortgage. So kind of just piggybacking a little bit on everyone else. I definitely, especially Ricardo, I love sales. I love playing around with the numbers, seeing what best fits that particular client. Because as you guys know, if you bought a home or done a refinance or a HELOC, not every scenario fits everyone. So just kind of playing around with the numbers and see what helps my client the best. And then right now, just kind of something that I wanted to throw out there and have been educating or informing my clients about is debt consolidation. So again, debt is at an all-time high, guys. This is serious. It's a pretty serious problem. Foreclosures were at their all-time low with the rates as low as they were. And so I'm trying to spin that into a positive perspective. Rates are still a little bit high than normal, but it still makes sense more times than it doesn't to do a debt consolidation loan using your equity. Because again, it's one of the longest term options out there and typically the lowest interest option, even though rates are a little high. So if you or you know of somebody that would like to look at a HELOC or look at a debt consolidation or cash out refinance, I would love to have a chat with them. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
All right, so I guess it's my turn.
Yep.
Brian's order. So my name is Jorge Ramirez. I'm with Raintown Realty. I'm a realtor. We are a small brokerage out of Bellevue, Washington. We are actually #1 in Zillow sales as well. We averaged about $200 million in sales last year. We are one of the best, well, the best brokerage on the East Side, in my opinion, as well as not only because of the sales, but of the volume. I mean, the training that we get. This is absolutely crucial part of our business. I've only been a part of it for about almost 5 months. My wife has been a part of it longer. She's also a realtor. And as far as the tangents go, I would say sales as well. I like dealing with people face to face, belly to belly, we call it. I am a pretty big believer in people being able to help people achieve goals of buying a home. We are DPA trained, you can't say certified, DPA trained to help other people with down payment assistance. And we are working our way towards helping those who don't have a way or means to, or an idea of how to own a home. So that's a big part of our business, but as well as helping those $1 million customers all day long too. So
Excellent. Thanks for being here.
Mhm.
Kelly, are you available? There she is.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So my name's Kelly Landon. I started a nonprofit last year called the Union Connection, just attempting to fill in the gaps where needed. We currently started with law enforcement, just kind of supporting them between community and boosting their morale. We are doing another scholarship for Officer Dan Rocha, just providing scholarships to kids that want to pursue public safety. And then my other business is I have a coaching business. I'm a life coach with a specialization in addiction. So I help people that are battling addiction, family repair, harm reduction, things like that. And I would say I'm kind of in between. I would say the marketing aspect of it, because the sale portion of it, I'm a little fearful of, but I love service. So I like service marketing, but not necessarily making the sale, if that makes any sense.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Thank you. Denise.
Hello, everybody. So I'm excited to be part of this. I am also a real estate agent. I work for Windermere Mill Creek. I specialize kind of in Mill Creek, Bothell, Linwood, Kirkland area. I mean, I sell everywhere, but that's kind of, you know, where I do a lot of business. I've been an agent for 4 years. I've been very blessed. I've been very successful. I've done a pretty high volume. And I would say marketing versus sales. I prefer sales. I especially like helping. I love working with buyers too, don't get me wrong, but I prefer sales. I love working with listings where we take it from looking maybe not so great and we make it look amazing. I recently took a home that was in a fabulous neighborhood and it was probably the worst looking house in the entire neighborhood. I invested my own money to help my clients because I knew that if we put about 20 grand in, I could probably get them an extra 100 grand out. So we did that. I had the house painted inside and out, and we did a lot of work to really make her shine. And they did net an extra 125 grand over the $20,000 investment. So
Wow.
yeah, I just had them pay me back at closing. I knew it was kind of a slam dunk just because of the location. Yeah, so I'm really excited to get to know you guys. I guess my ask would be, if you guys know anybody who needs, has any questions regarding real estate or needs help with buying or selling, I would love the opportunity to speak with them and help them.
Outstanding. Denise, thank you. I'm going to wrap it up. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Brian Trendler. I co-own Laugh Tech. It stands for Learn About Funny Techniques, excuse me. We literally work with people all over the place, of all ages, all sizes, all colors, or demographics. It doesn't matter whether it's a 1-to-1 situation or a 2-to-1 if you want to get both Marcel and I. And at the same time, we'll do that either face-to-face or on Zoom. So we can be very flexible in that sense. Plus, I make a great carry-on. If you want me to travel somewhere, I am there. I want to rack up those miles because it's really neat to be able to go into a facility and work with a management or a sales team and get them to just get on the same page. And nowadays, a lot of sales are flat because, you know, there's trickle down economics. There's also trickle down negativity. If the management is negative, if they're not having good days, if they're leading with deprecation, no wonder the sales are flat. No wonder the sick days are so high. No wonder the profitability of the company is low. It's because people don't want to show up to work. So we can help change that atmosphere from within. Or like I also said, basically get everyone on the same page, selling the widget, selling the vision, selling the product with the same story, with the same enthusiasm, or even a renewed enthusiasm, because everybody has their own style of humor, which makes you listenable, likable, ideally watchable, hopefully memorable, and then ROIable. So we have a lot of fun. Regarding the tangent, I will just have to say that in a nutshell, I'm also a graphic designer. I'm crazy. I have 3 businesses. So I love the marketing side. I love the designing side. I love to make things look great, look sexy, look sellable. But I'm also really good at sales. So I'm kind of an in-betweener, I got to tell you. And is Ricardo giving me smack on the chat screen? Darn him. Okay. Anyway, that's my commercial. I'm sticking to it. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your what am I trying to say? Your ads. I'm glad I'm recording this. Okay. So now I get to share screen. I don't know why my share button just disappeared. There we go. Technology. Yay. Here we go. We get to talk or get to listen to Miss Marcel Allen. She is owner of Dreamosity. Also, as she mentioned, she is the author of Financial Joy, and she has an online program available now called the Revenue Ringlet. I hope I said that right, because if not, she's scrappy and can take me in a fight. Her information is there, but I'm going to go ahead and copy paste that as well into the chat screen so you can record it and contact her and connect with her and download her ebook because you're cool. And Marcel, you've got 20 minutes to present. Do you think you'll take up that time so I can give you the 10-minute yellow alert and the roughly 19-minute alert for the wrap up?
Yep, that sounds great.
Okay, so I get to stop share. I'm assuming you will need to share screens, right?
Yes,
All right,
please.
so because Zoom is being a dork, I get to make you full-blown host, so don't kick me off, please.
Yeah.
But
All right, I'll start talking. Hey everybody, you know, I'm Marcel. I've been a PNA member now for I think 6 or 7 years, and it really continues to be a good, 25 to 50% of my business. It's a phenomenal thing. And when I do talk a lot about the internet and internet marketing and using social media, I still believe in good old-fashioned belly-to-belly networking and sales and talking to people, right? A video can never replace that handshake, that hug, that high five. So again, I want to welcome Denise and Kelly today. You guys are my 2 guests. I'm thrilled that you're here because I really think this could help grow your business in 2023 and beyond. It is a great thing. So today I have a kind of special presentation / tour of some things on the internet. I really want to expand how you see the internet and how you see social media. And so feel free to ask questions at the end. And this will be recorded, so if I go too fast, you can always go back. But I want to expand how you look at your own website, right? And I love the fact that there's a couple of real estate agents here because I'm going to talk about how your house is like a mansion, a rambler, or maybe a hole in the wall, right? Hopefully it's more like a mansion. But I want to inspire you to use your website in different ways. So with that, I'm also looking at each of you here as a potential extension of my sales force, people that might send me referrals in business, because that is the nature of PNA. But here we're looking at my website, right? If you go to dreamosity.com, this is the current look and feel of what's going on. And this changes every year for me, right? It's never the exact same because I'm always doing new and cool things. But I want to just show you real quick. This is, if you're talking to somebody and you're like, you need to hire Marcel, go book a discovery session. If I say discovery deck session, this is what I'm referring to. I talk about ongoing training. If I work with somebody over the year, ongoing management and training and support, and then video crafting, people can hire me to come to their property or their business to do real coaching, to do real creation, to do video support, that type of thing. And I'll just keep scrolling down here for a minute. I do a lot of training services. I'm really in this year of shifting out of management into training at the same time. I'm still keeping my management clients because that cash flow is very valuable to me. But I have a training called Developing Digital You, which it's a meetup I've been running for years. I teach this idea, imagine if you could out motivate, out train, outsell, and out entertain based on your digital platform, how much more profitable and generous could you be? And so oftentimes a lot of people come through Dreamosity from this meetup or from these developing digitally workshops. I really only focus on Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, and Instagram because those are the 4 platforms I know how to make money on. I don't go into TikTok. I'm on Twitter and LinkedIn, but in general, those are just support tools. They're not places where it's like a huge revenue thing from my experience. There are other experts out there. Anyways, I'm also beefing up my speaking career. So I'm actually speaking at several chambers and several training events coming up for teams. And then you guys know I co-own Laugh Tech with Brian, but the idea there is we're training people to present better for the internet. So when they go on a reel or they go on a Facebook Live, they don't sound like they need a nap. Right? So we really help them develop their mix of humor so they can be entertaining, but also educational and professional. And then Financial Joy, you can learn more here, but I wrote that book in 2018 because yes, I had a client ask me, what is the point of all this social media? How do I know if it's working? What's my profit and loss, right? So it kind of goes into that. Down here, I want you guys to know you can click on all these to learn more, but this is really the top of one of my funnels. I always offer a free 15-minute consult. If people go there, they're going to get my calendar link and then they can book a time. Usually I just book when I'm talking to them. Now, if they click on this little link here and they go to the discovery session, and again, I want you to think about this is like a mansion, right? So if people are driving to the Seattle Space Needle, how many ways can they get to that Space Needle? Hundreds of pathways, right? Hundreds and hundreds. It's huge. It's a huge place in the world and in Seattle. Whereas Dreamosity.com, get this, you guys, I just checked. I've got 788 backlinks to this website. A lot of little breadcrumbs, right? And so each of them are effective at different seasons, but the idea is there's a lot of ways you can enter people into the world of Dreamosity. And while I'm not quite a staple like the Space Needle, I consider it more of like, here's a grocery store. I want you to come back at least every month and get something new because there's always something cool going on. Anyways, this discovery session, this is one of my top sellers. It's a 90-minute training where I literally go through 25 marketing tactics across my matrix, which is a really cool kind of analytical tool for those hesitant people who are like, show me the numbers, Marcel. Because if you're brand new and you're a rookie, you're gonna have a very different potential trajectory than if you're a 25-year veteran, been on TV, been on 20 podcasts, and you've got a lot of expertise. So those are very different marketing campaigns. And I was gonna tell you guys the phrase I want you to know after this, what is it? I wrote it down. Oh, if you say buy into her $250 discovery session, it will save you years. I've literally had testimonials and people say, Marcel, I wish I did this 10 years ago. Marcel, I wish this did this 4 years ago. And so I really believe that this training program, $250, 90 minutes, it can literally shave off years of marketing. So if marketing was not in your happy lane, definitely add this to, something that you might do so marketing can become fun again. Anyways, tons of testimonials. But I want you guys to know that Dreamosity.com, it's here to support you as you're networking out there and as you're talking about me and all the good things that I could do or whatnot. This is my little about page, and people often ask me like, why do you do this? And why do you care so much about social media? And honestly, it's not social media, but it's the ideas that are helpful to people out there. I believe when good marketing happens, people find things when they need them. And if you can't find what you're looking for, it's because somebody out there didn't market their stuff very well. And so anyways, this is just a page, but I believe in a world right now where there are so many talking heads and there are so many just like noisy voices and people are like shouting on the internet, I believe that visuals that can help people make a decision faster are going to become more and more important because people don't want to listen to a 20-minute speech unless the visuals are outstanding and useful, right? So there's this whole kind of competitive thing going on the internet. And I really believe in helping people make visuals. I did just make a couple new pages down here. I always teach clients that, you know, to run a successful business, you need great leadership, you need great marketing, sales, product development, customer service, financial management, and operations. Social media, in my experience, touches all 7 of those things, right? So a lot of people are like, well, social media is all about marketing. Yes. And it can also be, why would 20,000 people follow you on Instagram if you don't have a why, right? Why would people follow you if they don't know where you're going, right? I want financial joy to be a conversation in every household in America. That's why I want you to follow me on Dreamosity, right? I think more people need to be talking about financial joy, which is a result of great sales and marketing. It's a result of great money management. It's a great result of being connected to your sphere of influence in a way that is just amazing. Anyways, I could go on. I love this stuff. But know that this is here. My Connect page, it needs a little bit of help. Usually a Connect page, it gives you one thing, and I kind of let people come to the world of Marcel in whichever way makes you happy, whether it's Instagram, you want to send me a text. That's actually my business line. Most of you here have my personal line. But there are multiple ways that people can connect, and just know that this is here. I want to speak for a minute about Pinterest. I was a quick mover on Pinterest back in the day. But again, this is a backlink. If you don't have a Pinterest account linking to your website, you can, right? That gives you a link back to your website. Same with YouTube, same with Instagram. So all of these little links and all these other social platforms, whether it's TikTok or an email signature, you know, the world of the internet, they see those backlinks as this website is a sophisticated and important website, and they're going to have more people coming there versus if there's only 2 links and it's a template website that nobody knows how to really use. So think about how many little pathways are there to your website. And if you don't understand all that, we can definitely talk one-to-one, and I'm happy to help and show you more of that. I wanted to show you guys on YouTube here. So YouTube, oftentimes people forget that it is a social network, right? It is the 2nd largest search engine, but it's also a social network. And so I've been making videos since 2008. I was initially that little girl that was like, oh my gosh, I'm so scared I could never do a video, right? And now I'm like, all right, who wants to interview me? Let's go. All right, so people, you know, develop and they grow as they just get more comfortable. But I want to encourage you, if you don't have a YouTube channel yet, set one up, because again, this is going to link you back to your website. I did want to highlight some PNA members here. Where did it go? Oh, hang on, let me refresh the page, because I just updated this before. When I'm not seeing it. Where did it go? Hang on, wait for it. On the home page, so these are called playlists right here. You can put these playlists as a part of your sales process, right? Or marketing process. You could say, hey, thanks for the conversation. Why don't you go watch these, you know, 6 interviews I was in, or, you know, if you want more information, right? So you can use video as a tool. But this is what I want to showcase. I've got several of our PNA members up here. Bob, your face is here. Lynette, Bizex. Where's Mike today? I was going to toot his horn here. And then Amy, you're on my page now, right? So I really want to showcase this collaborative side of YouTube, because it's not just about the video, but it's you're cross-linking and giving these little pathways of people.
Marcel.
Thank you. If you ever go to somebody's YouTube page and you only see one video, they're not optimized. That's a good lead for me here at Dreamosity. If you only see one video and but maybe you click on videos and then there's like, you know, 20 videos or whatever over here. This is a way to optimize your profile. So if you ever go to a page and you're like, oh, there's no playlist and it's really unorganized and it feels like a bad, you know, kitchen closet or something, like I can help them optimize their videos for their consumer benefit. So just know that's something I can help people with. I love YouTube, but again, it's more of a long-term game than that quick advertising burst of let's talk to 20,000 people and see who's hungry. I want to show you guys my Instagram account. This is something I encourage all my clients to have. Instagram, largest social mobile network right now. It is phenomenal. And I just did a great training on this. I sent that in the link before, but think about how you cross-pollinate as members of PNA and as members in your community, because you can really again, you're kind of leading people around the internet from here and there. I don't remember what else I was going to say here. Oh, another backlink, right? It's going to the Revenue Ringlet, which is my new program, which still goes to dreamosity.com, right? So if you have questions around masking a domain name and forwarding a domain name, there are different tactics to move people around. This is a program I'm working on really selling, because I found that I can only handle so many clients at the end of the day, right? So this is a training program, $800 one-time buy-in, but every 11th and 22nd, there's open office hour. So say you're like, I have a question on Reels, or I have a question on what do I do with this Pinterest board, or how does this video fit into my sales process? This is actually a great value in terms of how many hours you could possibly access me throughout the month instead of one-to-one coaching. So know that I'll be talking about the revenue ringlet a lot in the near future. And I encourage you all to check it out. And then the other place I wanted to encourage you guys, if you're not already a member of Developing Digital You on, well, that's where there's little ads on this. Meetup.com, right? Great place to build this networking thing. If you guys aren't using Meetup in your own networking, check it out. I've had this Meetup for years. I kind of fell asleep during the pandemic, but I'm bringing it back. And so if you ever want to host a Developing Digital You meetup at your office, whether it's Windermere or Movement Mortgage or, Great Happy Hour Place, I'm looking to do them in Kirkland, Woodinville, Mill Creek, Bothell, and probably Snohomish on like a rotating every 2 months, right? Like I want to go to different places because people, what I found is they have hundreds of questions in real life, but when they're just scrolling, rarely do they ask you for those technical things. But if I can get, a room of people together, we can do a really fun meetup to help train, the people in your network. I would love to collaborate with you on that type of thing. Oh, what else was I going to say? The other thing about the revenue ringlet, and because I co-own Laugh Tech with Brian, it's a very fun approach to money. And I'm really stretching some boundaries in terms of creativity and talking about money, because I think not enough people talk about revenue and how do you get to revenue. And so whether you're generating $20,000 a month or only $2,000 a month, how we allocate that revenue can really steer our marketing, our social media, right? So I'm doing some really cool creative things with that. And I want people to know that, one, Marcel likes to talk about money, and two, she wants to help you talk about money. But if you've ever felt like you've been out of kind of control, or you have felt controlled by somebody, maybe a spouse or a parent, or you just don't know, like I really want to bridge some creative gaps around revenue for people because people aren't talking about it. And honestly, bookkeepers and accountants, they're terrible storytellers. Like I love smart money people, but they are not telling you the whole picture of how those numbers work together. And I love my bookkeeper. She's fantastic. And I think that's not their job, right? So there's this intermediate role, and the social media manager, for some reason, I've been helping people with some of that stuff. So I want to help people understand how to grow their revenue, how to have multiple streams of income if that's what they want, but really to know what are those tactics on social media, what are those activities that move the needle for the bottom line. Because at the end of the day, if you're just posting, somebody asked me this the other day, it was a great question. She's like, well, how many times a day should I post to my Facebook page? I'm like, how many people do you have on your Facebook page? And she's like, 80. I'm like, well, maybe post once a week, but then throughout the day, post in these other communities, post in other spaces where there's 20,000 people, where there's 1,500 people, go to networking events and get a photo for, later post. But there is no magic number. And that's part of what I'm doing at the Revenue Ringlet, is I want you to know your numbers. So you know how many conversations do you have to make $1,000 or to make $10,000. It's different for all of us. Social media doesn't fix a bad sales process, right? So if you don't know how to sell now, learn to sell and then go have some fun on social media. And so if sales was in your weaker column, I encourage you, get comfortable with a written out sales process and then apply it to social media. But if you don't know how to sell and you're just winging it out there on Facebook or Instagram, you're just going to get exhausted and then think, well, Facebook doesn't work. Well, it can. And if you're not sure how, talk to somebody who gets it, because there's a lot of moving pieces, but people are people, right? I look at each of one of you on Zoom. You're all people. You all have a sphere of influence. You all have needs and desires. You all have budgets, hopefully. You all have sources of income, right? And that's where every conversation is unique and different. Nobody here is exactly the same. And the marketing and the sales processes, we're always going to have to customize it to help people make great decisions. So with that, Brian, how much time do I have? A couple minutes still.
Yeah, hold on. You've got 4 minutes.
4 minutes. Okay. So there's this other idea in Developing Digital You that I really talk about. you know, 20 years ago, it was dollars per hour. Can I make $20 an hour? Can I make $40 an hour? Can I make $60 an hour, right? Can I get to $100 an hour, like as a coach or as a consultant? Now with the internet, I want you to be thinking about, what are my results per hour? So if you have 2 hours on your calendar where you have nothing booked, what type of results can you generate in an hour, right? Is that one reel that gets 100 views? Is it popping into 3 Facebook groups that you get, 30 people to respond? Is it messaging back? And this is what I was going to tell you about Remarkable Reels. So I did that training. I had a Facebook event. I invited probably 40 people, 13 were interested and then 3 came. The people that didn't come, I then sent them the recording one-to-one chat. And I checked in on them. How are they doing? Do you want the link? Here's the link, right? So there's still a level of high touch with people. Just because you post it to your wall, it doesn't mean people are going to click it and watch it, especially YouTube. YouTube and Facebook, they compete. But the idea is, think of results per hour, not just dollars per hour. Many of you guys know I'll often do a percentage deal with a client where it'll be a percentage of their sales, especially for like a real estate agent. So that's always an option for me versus like a flat fee or an hourly thing. I still do some hourly work because that's just what the market can bear right now. But be thinking about your personal results per hour, because some of your hours you're like, wow, that was kind of worthless and nothing happened. And then some of your hours you meet 15 people. Right. Or you get introduced to 3 people at a networking event like this. They're like great ideal referral partners. So gone are the days where it's one-to-one. Think about one-to-many, but now also think about amazing to a many. How do you do something great to many? Right. Because it used to just be one or something to many, but now it's got to be good. And that's what I'm saying. Those visuals in your marketing, those visuals in your sales process, if they're not helping people make a decision, all right, let's go back to the drawing wheel and see how we can help people make those decisions, because there's a lot of cool ways to help people. So I'll wrap this up. Know how to spell dreamosity.com. Some of you are brand new to the call. I want you to know how to spell it. It's not city like a C, it's a OSITY, but I want you to be able to type it into a browser. If you're with a client, say, hey, you've got to meet Marcelle. She's doing cool things. She is got a lot of great resources there. So there's a lot of free stuff. There's also stuff they can buy. But I want to encourage you to go to that website, poke around, see if it's comfortable for you, see if there's things you can learn. Let me know if you have questions. Use my calendar link, schedule a time with me. That's one of the easiest ways to get on my calendar. Email is not my number one thing, unfortunately. I'm like, I run my day by my calendar. And if you're on my calendar, you get my attention. And I do check emails always by Friday, so know that. But definitely visit dreamosity.com. And then, of course, know I'm always open to feedback. And so if you're like, Marcelle, this was really foggy, or I don't like this about Dreamosity, consider this. I will always take feedback. So know that I'm a student of the game and I love to win. So thank you for your time today.
Excellent. Thank you, Marcelle. Appreciate that. If you can return host in a second, we're going to go ahead and open up for questions now. So everybody, you've been waiting this entire time. Ricardo's head's about to explode. Ask your questions to Marcelle. Just jump right in.
Don't be shy. Very friendly.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to say, I really loved what you said about that open hour. Like, you have an open hour. What can you do with that hour to, like you said, like, maybe put a post in different areas or whatever. I like the ideas that you have, but I especially like that, you mentioned, like, what can you do with that hour that's it maybe won't generate revenue right then and there, but it will, what are the results going to be per hour down the road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Denise. Now you have to say that again in the form of a question. No.
Okay.
Anyone else have a question for Marcelle? Actually, I do, since I can. Marcelle, tell me right now what your preference is. I should say, tell me, right now, what is your preference and how long you ideally want to work with a customer? I know you have off-contract hours, you have contract hours available depending on their needs. So can you give me an idea, kind of like what the ideal client is?
Yeah, so I ideally 12 months is just the best because I can get more bang for the money over 12 months. When we look at the revenue ringlet, each ring is representative of a month. And what we learn together as a team that first month is going to have a result, but it probably won't be the best result as in month 6, 7, 8, 9, or 10,
Yeah.
right? If we're marketing to only a couple hundred people in the first month versus 20,000 in month 6, there's going to be a different result for them. And so moving them across that matrix, it takes time. Now, if they're already a celebrity and they're already doing phenomenal things, the campaign can happen in 3 months, right? But rarely do celebrities land in my lap, but they are also great referrals. So, and that's why the revenue ringlet too, from a price point, you get 12 months worth of support at just different, twice a month and for kind of group coaching.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, thank you. Anyone else have a question? Don't be shy.
Actually,
I have a question.
Oh, go ahead.
Mine will be super quick. I just want to make sure I'm hearing this correctly. I will find all this information out at Dreamosity, right? I want to show this to someone I have in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to dreamosity.com and click around. There's a lot of different buttons to different places, but there are some book an appointment, some will book a paid like coaching time, like that discovery session one. That's usually people can figure that out on their own if they just want to buy that, which I love that when that happens. And then everything else I do long-term for people is customized. I'll do a custom proposal, I'll find out their needs, and then, that may change 6 months later, even based as their needs change. And then the revenueringlet.com forwards to that page, but that's also my sales page for my program there.
Yeah, excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Denise.
Marcel. Denise, you had a follow-up?
Yeah, I'm just curious, out of all the different platforms for social media to kind of put yourself out there, which one have you found has the most engagement?
Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been networking there for 15 years. I'm connected to over 100 groups, 7 of which I run. And so to me, I've got a much stronger sphere of influence on Facebook.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, any other questions? Okay, do I have hosting? Yes, I do. Thank you, Marcel. Let me bring up this quick slide deck again really quickly. Checking, please hold. Everything's working. Love it how even after 3 years, you still have to click 15 things to get where I want. Okay. Can we see it, everybody? Someone give me a thumbs up. Thank you, Ricardo. Okay, so this is the best thing about PNA Northwest, everybody. I got to tell you, when it was just PNA and I joined in 2010, I was like, dang, this speech breakout thingy is amazing. And it is. And this is what we do. We go in deeper into what Marcel just talked about today. No other networking group does this. I'm incredibly proud of it. And for Digital PNA, we have an opportunity here to do a slightly different spin on it. But point is, let's talk about, and be clear, this is for Marcel to not chime in unless she absolutely needs to. It's really hard for all speakers to not go, I can't. So, but it's also great, test to see if we are paying attention. So let's talk about target market. Who or what type of people or businesses would need Marcel's services? Chime in. This is open for everybody, except Marcel.
I'd say small business owners. I mean, any business owner or any business person, but small business owners, it's the thing we're constantly struggling with, right? Is all the hats we have to wear, and marketing being one of those. Nobody that I don't really want to wear, and mainly because maybe I don't understand enough about it, right? So I think there's a lot of business owners who are good at the main thing of their business, but maybe some marketing and in particular social media is not going to be it. So I think that'd be a huge one.
Agreed, 100%. Anyone else? I'll just say real quick, to be a little bit more specific than Ricardo even, entrepreneurs or solopreneurs that are just spread too thin. They're just doing too much. And quite often, and I mean, I've shared 2 offices over the last 8 years with Marcel. So I've heard these stories too. They're putting money in the wrong buckets. They're putting time in the wrong buckets. Believe it or not, there's certain business categories that will not succeed on certain platforms versus others. Which ones have more benefit and exposure to, let's just say, real estate brokers or mortgage people or coaches, etc. So she can really help with that. Any other ideas here on a target market? If not, we'll go on to ideal partners, collaborative ideas. Okay. Ideal partners, collaborative ideas. Who would she collaborate well with? Can we think of any businesses that we could direct toward her? And then also, what other sorts of resources could members be out there identifying? I will just say real quick, copywriters and copy editors. It can help with any form of online content. And nowadays with the tools, no, I don't mean AI. AI is the devil. It's Skynet, be careful. But literally those that can develop keyword-based content that'll help people get seen, found, and heard faster. So any other ideas?
Real estate for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts? It's okay to take the strong, silent angle today, Bob. I'm not going to judge you. It's all right.
I would like to add maybe logo designers.
Ooh. Yeah.
Creative Ricardo.
Yeah. Yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, yes, I am also a graphic designer. So he's stabbing me there, or supporting me, actually. Yes.
I think a marketing agency, right? They may or may not have elements of this as part of their business, and if they don't, this is a great complement to any marketing ad campaigns that they're designing.
Absolutely. All right. Any other thoughts? If not, we'll move on to the next section, beneficial syndications. I'm hoping, I can't see the chat right now, but Marcel, I'm hoping that you've put your info in the chat as well as specific links that you want us to help syndicate. That's a big thing with DigitalPNA, okay? We're getting to the point where we're going to start really actually tracking that, like on what date did someone post a link and what were the results, things like that. We're here to support each other. And of course, from the standpoint that we market to the entire Pacific Northwest, including 2 other states, your syndication request can go viral. It can go crazy pants if suddenly our Arizona person, who's not here today, ironically, but if she could share it out to her network, that's now in that area because she recently moved out from Washington. So suddenly you're getting countless more eyeballs on the materials that you want us to help syndicate. So again, hopefully you've got that in the chat screen, Marcel. Any other ideas for her? Kudos maybe on her presentation, ideas for other presentations, please feel free to share. There's someone speaking in the background. I don't know if that's a member here because I can't see all the bobbleheads. Okay. Okay. Ricardo, you're on mute, buddy.
I'm always curious about the real stories, right? It was really helpful. It is really helpful to learn about your business and how how we might be able to connect you with other people. But I think it's also helpful to have some like real world experiences, even if you can't name names, right? To just this is something that I did, and this is the result that came from it, type of thing.
Excellent.
Great idea. Thank you. Anyone else have a kudo or a thought for future presentation? Marcel, I will say just real quick that you covered a lot and I love it. And it honestly, it will cause me to have to go back and listen to it again, even though I do work closely with you. I like Ricardo's idea. I think even if you make up a client, it'd be really cool to see how you would target that client if you knew they had hot mess XYZ, right? And then you take them through a year program by defining and refining whatever their goals are and how you'd implement the change, right? Via coaching, via the insane benefit behind revenue ringlet, versus paying your hourly rate. I mean, for crying out loud, it pays itself in 2 months, if not less. Huge opportunities there to really show us by showing us what you could do, right? So
I should walk you and Ricardo through my recent sales process. It is closing fairly well when I do my full slides.
Yeah.
Anyways, we'll do that another time.
Good. Excellent. Any other feedback from Marcel? Amy, just saw I pop off mute. Anything?
Kudos. Are we doing testimonials at the end?
Yes, that's coming.
Okay, I'll leave it short and sweet then. Well, great presentation, obviously, always super insightful. And obviously you're just a wealth of knowledge. But what I would like to know more about is different platforms and what kind of audience those are. You've taught me a lot so far, and I feel like everybody could learn and benefit from what each platform, what the audience looks like and what kind of media or content that we should be providing on that specific platform, if that makes sense. And he changed everything.
Excellent. Thank you for that, Amy. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next section, which is other categories. What other businesses can we bring in to not only help her referral network grow, but of course, all of ours? Let's think outside the proverbial box. What can we bring in? How about all of our guests today? Blah.
Videographer.
Yeah. I would love that person as well in my world. That would be great. Absolutely.
We tried to get one, but he's so busy.
Yeah.
I wish that he was available.
Let's find someone who's not busy and hungry. How's that?
Yeah.
I like hungry. Looks like Marcel, instead of talking, submitted something in the chat screen. Personal stylist, author coach, author and coach, or author coach? Okay, still muted, but I can read lips. Thank you. And photographer, excellent. Anyone else think of anything?
About like radio ad sales.
Yeah. Actually, it's funny you say that because when we get to the referrals or testimonials, I'll talk about Stitch Mitchell. He's been sort of a fly in, fly out pseudo member here, and he's still trying to find a way to come back. He does radio ads for KRKO and KXA. So he sells air. So it's a great guy.
I think a website designer like Tucker or Google AdWords specialist.
Yep. Marcel, it's okay to jump off mute here. That would be a good partner for you, right? From the SEO and AdWords side of things, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I work very well with SEO people. A lot of what we do on social media helps SEO, but it's not the same as a full-time SEO person.
Okay. We need someone who sells Girl Scout cookies because I'm currently out of my Samoan, whatever they're called. Ones, just FYI.
They're called caramel
Completely
chocolate drizzles now.
Isn't that what it is? And a little coconut action. It's really.
They took the name off the box. Well, the one that I bought.
Oh, so they made it like safe and woke.
I think you may have gotten bootleg cookies.
I like my cookies woke, so
I would love to talk to a mom who knows a whole troop, and I could go train all these Girl Scout cookie people to be video marketers with Girl Scout cookies instead of just camping out in front of Safeway.
I am tired of being accosted by parents every time I walk out of a Safeway. Bob,
Well, according to ChatGPT, e-commerce businesses would be a great referral source for Marcel. Also, I don't know any e-commerce businesses, but the paragraph that ChatGPT wrote said you would do very well for them, providing your service to them. So that would if you know any e-commerce businesses out there.
Will you ask your little app there what an example of an e-commerce, like, is that anybody who sells online? Because that's everybody I know.
Yeah. Someone who's got an Etsy store.
What's an example?
Retail for sure.
Retail, absolutely. Yeah. Itch cream for Ricardo, apparently. He's really right now. What's going on there, buddy?
That could have been phrased a little bit differently.
No, he just,
Sorry, Ricardo.
Okay. All right. So thank you everybody for your input. I greatly appreciate that. We are going to go ahead and again share screens for just a minute here. Dun, 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 dun. And hit that and hit that. Love the steps. Thank you. Again, we did cover a bunch of things, but I also want people to think outside of the proverbial box, okay? From the digital PNA perspective and Skynet that Bob has running in the background, digital artists, cartoonists, 3D modelers, a voiceover artist. I actually just used a cartoonist illustrator to help me with the logo design I did for a client. Unfortunately, I can't get him to be on the calls here, but people like that, sometimes they don't think they can be part of networking organizations. That is so wrong. And that's what I'm kind of on a mission to get them to change their mind, right? Because especially a group that's digital, has a wide reach, huge value, and potentially business for them. And of course, us. So think about that. Let's go to the referrals or testimonials portion. This is where we go around the room, for lack of better words. If you do have something nice to say about a member, please go ahead and say it. If you don't, please pass. But if you have, like I said, a referral or testimonial, I'll put the thing in the window again really quickly in case we forget the order. That doesn't work. Let's start with Bob.
I was reading the list of 10 small e-commerce businesses. I was distracted. I'm not happy with the examples it's given me, but what was your question?
Referrals or testimonials portion.
Oh yeah, none this week.
Okay, thank you. Next
But
up,
what I will say
yes,
in regards to, there was one quotable that Marcel gave in her presentation that really resonated with me. And that was the $250 discovery session will save you years. And that resonates with me because of coaching that I've paid for in the past, or even, what would you say, consultants in essence, particularly when I published my book. The woman that I paid thousands of dollars to literally saved me probably $10,000 in stupid mistakes and the years of mistakes I would have made learning that. So when that $250 investment, was almost like an AA degree was what I was thinking when you said that. For $250, you can get the equivalent of an AA degree in social media in 45 minutes or 90 minutes. You know?
that's great.
I'm not joking, you guys. Okay, so shout out to, I just want to give Ricardo some street cred. I drive by his little Mill Creek Expedia studio all the time, and I just think happy thoughts and send good vibes. But like recently on Facebook Memories, it was like, look at all this cool, because we used to do events, Laugh Tech events there, and he has a cool venue. If you haven't walked by, he's right by the Cold Stone Creamery. Just pop in, say hi to him. He's a wonderful staple locally. Like, you need to go to the travel place downtown. Also shout out to Bob. I'm constantly thinking, what are my top 3 priorities right now? What am I, like, it's ingrained in my brain, so good job. Also Kelly, great to have her here. She is a phenomenal leader, you guys, on social media. She literally runs a group of like 1,400 people. She is a mover and a shaker. She's a great gal to know. Definitely do a one-to-one with her if you haven't met her yet. And then Amy, I just love working with you, so it's good to see you again, as always. Brian, I was going to tell you, I have 8 referrals for you for a comedy night. I was at a dinner party last night, 15 people, big house. 8 of them were like, we're not going to do hash browns and hash, or whatever, corned beef and hash. We're going to go to comedy night. So, boom. That's all I got.
And they have bought their tickets, so I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, so my shout out is to Marcel. I'm not a client, but I'm thinking I probably need to be. But my shout out is this, Marcel, you are always giving free advice, right? And it's always so useful advice. And then encouragement is probably even the bigger thing that I find really important. And so I just want to give you a little shout out there for the advice that you have given so far and the encouragement that you to give. And so thank you for that.
Awesome.
Oh, and before I forget, here's my doodle. I don't know if you can see.
That's awesome. Take a photo of that and send it to Marcel and me.
I like it.
We'll
Thank
give you full on street cred. That's awesome. All right, next up, Amy.
Yeah, so I hit on it a little bit earlier, but I can't say enough nice things about Marcel. She recently took me on as a client, which props to her. She's still holding on strong. Well, I don't know, but anyways, she's already helped me a lot, guys, leaps and bounds. I already did a ton of reels and a ton of social media, but she's kind of organizing me, which is something I think we can all kind of use, other than Bob. But yeah, we have grown a lot in just like maybe 3 weeks to a month, and very insightful. So if you can, guys, set up a meeting with her. I think it's like an hour long for the first one, and very affordable, first of all. But other than that, she just helps you a lot and makes you look better than you're making it look yourself, I'm sure.
Awesome.
That's all I got for today. No, I don't think I got any referrals from this group this last week.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Amy, thank you. Jorge.
Can I back you? I'm so sorry to interrupt, but Amy, yeah. So one of my realtor friends has a huge group in down by Florida. And I know you're looking for a real estate agent in Florida. I just need to work through them either with you, or I got to figure out how to move them around. But like, I got agents oozing out my network for Florida. because I know you're licensed there. Anyway, so stay tuned for official referrals, but I'm working on
All
on
right.
some Florida people for you.
All right. Sounds good. Thank you.
I'm glad you specified the location and amount of ooze. Thank you. Okay, we need a doctor in the house. Jorge, go for it.
All right, so big shout out to Marcel as well. I think I also do need your services as well as other people in my circle. We are ever growing, and we know that online is definitely videos are just the popular thing to do. Looking forward to getting a meeting in with you as well as my wife, and maybe if you can think in Spanish ahead of time, that would be great, because that's something I'm definitely interested in. So yeah, referrals, and I will have referrals for you. Just, I got to get your information over to people, but hopefully that turns out into something for you. So
Awesome. Thank you, Jorge. Kelly, hi.
Hi. So I'm relatively new to working with Marcel. She's helped me with amazing things, and mostly I think it's self-confidence. Just like I was about to make a huge change and shut a couple of things down, and she's like, "Why?" and just points out the obvious, that you can do more than one thing to generate income, and that it's okay to close one door and open another. And so I just want to thank you for inviting me, and I just love you and adore you, and you're amazing. So thanks.
Thank you, Kelly.
I think
Denise?
I'm
Yeah.
up. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I just wanted to say, I think it's great. I'm already planning on working with Marcel, and I'm super excited to get her help and have her kind of help me up my game with my social media and all things, marketing in that respect. So yeah. And I will have plenty of referrals for you.
Outstanding. Denise, thank you. Okay, I know Marcel is just wiggly here because this is like the Marcel hour. She's like, I'm getting nice things. I cannot say enough about Marcel, mainly because, like I said, she's scrappy and can take me to fight. And to be honest, I'm afraid of her. But I've worked with her now for 8 years, and she's worked on me for 8 years as well. Years ago, I did take the Discovery Deck Challenge. Oh, Siri is talking to me. Thank you. Yeah, so I thought I knew what I was doing until I met Marcel, and she's been kindly rolling her eyes, giving me the bless your heart eye roll ever since. She always finesses what I do. At this point, I'm having her run spell check. I'm not doing things without her approval first with the companies I run, because she's really that good. I really want to highly encourage you all to get your creative on, and especially the guys on the line here. Put aside your manliness and become part of the revenue ringlet. I'm going through it right now. I admit, believe it or not, as an artist, a graphic designer, I'm struggling with it because it gets me out of my comfort zone. It gets me to draw, it gets me to paint, it gets me to do things that I normally, as a struggling single dad and all these types of things, I don't have time to do, but I'm doing it slowly but surely with Marcel. And she's coaxing me, she's helping me. And the sessions that she has, I'm sorry, Marcel, once or twice a month, or a week, twice a month. She's on the line for like 100 hours, whatever. And it's on 4, sorry, I'm using the new math. Point is that you can get on the line. And for those of you who want help, you pay the small amount for the year's worth of service, better than hourly rates. And then you get to utilize her for that time. And people do. And that's where I met Kelly a couple weeks back. And it's just amazing how you make connections and the things that she knows and can get you back into shape with what you're already doing. And I'm going to finish babbling there, but phenomenal. And last but not least, for Stitch, who I mentioned I wanted to talk about, he knows that I do a lot of MC and auctioneer work. He actually does some MC work as well when he's not on the air. And an opportunity presented itself, and he immediately didn't even think about it. Actually, he did, or I wouldn't be talking about it. Didn't think twice about it. He's like, you got to go talk to Brian. And I'll be doing my farthest out cast auctioneer opportunity, but I've got one in September already booked. It's a $1,500 opportunity. It's a very low budget one, but they have high needs, and I'm going to go give them my very best. And that opportunity would have come, if it hadn't been for the PNA Northwest Network, and then also, like I said, Stitch thinking about a fellow PNA member, and he's a great guy. I do hope to have him here at some point as well, because he is a great guy, and he can connect you all with customers you never even thought about via the radio, because they have an entire digital side to it as well, an app, everything else. And believe it or not, with country radio, you don't have to play it backwards to get things back. I earned members by advertising on his station within the PNA network. So it's a phenomenal opportunity that he makes available. Ricardo, raise your hand. What's up?
Hey, so talking about connection, I just want to give a quick little plug to the PNA Seminar on the Sea cruise, March 2nd of 2024. These cabins are booking, and they're booking now. And the group just keeps growing week over week over week. The speakers have been announced. Brian's going to share a little bit more information on them soon. And but now is the time to go ahead and secure your place on the Seminar on the Sea. It's a cruise out of LA. It's going to be a 7-night cruise down in Mexico. There's the cruise and the seminar. They're priced individually. They're both priced extremely well. And it's for anybody. It's not just PNA. It's any business member that you know. It's any community member that you know. It's any neighbor or friend or family that you know is welcome to come to this cruise and is welcome to join in the seminar. So highly encourage you to lay your your refundable deposit down now and secure your space before it's too late.
Thank you, Ricardo. You jumped the gun a bit. As you see, that was a few slides away, but thank you for saying that. And yeah, we're absolutely stoked. We've got, I think, just over 24 cabins booked, something like that. It's going to be, it's already going to be a remarkable experience. And we're looking to secure more cabins at this price point, and very excited about that. And yeah, I am working on the actual videos themselves that I interviewed our 2 seminar presenters, and we just had a ton of fun. If I'm being completely honest, I think I messed up the audio on my side. The interviewees sounded great. I sound like garbage, so I'm like jacking up the gain and trying to make my part sound salvageable. So I'm working on that. Thank you for that. Does anyone else have any? I think I was it on the list there as far as referrals or testimonials. Anyone else have anything else to share that they thought about or didn't get to? If not, we'll cover this slide real quick. Okay, excellent. This is the speaker rotation. Once again, you've got 20 minutes to utilize before we get into Q&A and then the speech breakout, which you guys experienced today, some of you for the first time. Jorge, your screen just went like really big. That was awesome. It just, anyway, it's good to see your desk. The neat thing about these opportunities here is that you don't have to do a PowerPoint slide deck. You can take us through an example of how you do your work. You can pretend we're all your client and we're taking you through the process right now. Whatever you want to do, you want to show 3 minutes of a video you've got recorded, show it to us. Let us hear and see what you've accomplished in that regard. Many ways you can make any of these presentations super fun. Again, as always, listenable, likable, memorable. And if you miss it, of course, it'll be on YouTube after the fact. But if you have any questions or needs about this, ask me, or even ask Marcel, since again, she's the smart one. But either way, this is really good stuff. It's a great opportunity to have a chance to have an extended speaking opportunity. So that's the lineup. It is me on April 5th. I apologize ahead of time. Hopefully you will all laugh so much your face will hurt. I'm hoping for hurt faces. That's meant to sound kind.
Bob?
Announcements. I do have 2 announcements here. Ricardo mentioned that we've got that whole little cruise thing coming up.
Hey, Brian, can you go back to the slide? Bob's got a question on the speaker lineup.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
So on May 3rd, actually the night before, I land at SeaTac at 11 p.m. Just to give you a heads up, I'm going to call Karen and see if she's willing to swap. But if anybody else would like the May 3rd slot, feel free.
Thank you for letting us know. Bob, I would like for you to reach out to Karen first, because I'm trying to keep the rotation pretty tight in lieu of working in potential new members, right? But let's go the Karen route first. So thank you for the heads up.
That's what I'll do.
Appreciate that. And sorry, I just couldn't see your bobblehead on the screen here. So
I figured that.
Cool. All right.
I'll get closer.
Because that works. All right. Real quick, 2 local events. Well, not really. Anyway, Marcel and I do these comedy nights. They're great opportunities, honestly, to network as well. It's a tasting room. It's a bar, but all ages are allowed because it's a tasting room. And people show up as early as 5 p.m. just to get a seat for the 7 p.m. comedy show. Amy and her adorable pack of friends were there last month. They had a great time. I appreciate her making the ride, drive, whatever, all the way up from lower Quebec in the Puyallup area. It's a great opportunity. We've got literally only about 20 tickets left. So I will just say, if anyone's interested, follow the link. I'll put this in the chat screen as well, but follow that link so you can pre-purchase the tickets ahead of time. Because I don't want to turn people away at the door. I have to do that almost every single time. And we've sold out the last 5 months in a row. We're very lucky, consider ourselves very lucky that the response has been so great. Plus, heck, we had a taco truck this time around, and apparently they're phenomenal. And frankly, I'll eat a crappy taco. I don't care. But they have all types of really great options there out of the truck, and they'll be there from 5 to 8. This is the Facebook event for the cruise in general. It's where updates and discussion threads are occurring. So if you want to just go like that and become part of that, that's great. I do want to mention something about that really quickly. I'm trying to get this thing to stop sharing. Ricardo mentioned that it's open to everyone. He's of course correct. It's for all of your Rotaries and your other networking groups and your family, your friends. Some people are planning on attending from a reunion perspective. They're trying to pull together families that they haven't seen in a while and show up. And if they do attend the actual seminars itself, fantastic. If not, they're still on a cruise at phenomenal discounts and great rates. So take advantage of that. And because it's a fully refundable deposit, just remember that the opportunity is safe. Then you don't even have to pay it off until December, and there's an opportunity to work that out. So reach out to Ricardo. Ricardo, make sure you put your email address in the chat window, please, since you do happen to be the Expedia Cruises member where we're doing all this through. I don't think there's anything else I need to cover. We normally don't stop or end from a timing perspective at 20 after or so, but we're technically out of things to cover. So let's open it up. If anybody has any questions or want to
Don't
say
we get to promote our events?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Any other events? Thank you. Keep me in line. Anybody else have any events going on? Anything happening?
Yeah, I'll chime in. Karen, who's actually not on here, we are doing, oh my Lanta, I think I just forgot the date. I think it's May 9th. She's actually going to be speaking on a few of you might be interested in it, but some ways that your clients can save up for a down payment that are a little bit out of the box. So super helpful there. And then some financial advice. I'm going to get a group in person, but obviously she's in Arizona, but she's going to speak on Zoom as well. So in the upcoming weeks, we'll definitely get you guys some more information, but it'll be May 9th. And it's a good, she's already sent me the presentation. It's really helpful information on, people that are struggling to save up closing cost and down payment. Either way, they're going to probably have to bring some funds to the table. So just unique ways that she's been able to help people.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that, Amy.
Yeah.
And I'll share our next local developing digitally meetup will be at the Creative Hands Art Studio, going down a Bothlover Highway, right past that little burger joint. There's a new building. It's a creative studio, normally for kids, but I've negotiated in morning space. So I'm gonna do a meetup there because I think it'll be a cooler venue than, a loud bar. So stay tuned for details on that, but join the meetup to get the details if you are local. And if you have a venue that you want me to come to in a different city, you let me know. If you can get a room full of people, I can run a meetup right there. So it'll be fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Marcel. Anything else going on in folks' world? Kelly, would you like to talk about that? I'm sorry, the program that you just started for, I believe it was a fallen officer, if memory serves.
Hi, yes, sorry, I'm chasing my kids all over the house, so that's why I
Okay.
keep shutting my camera off.
Make a video out of it.
Stay at home mom life. It's great sometimes. So yes, I founded my main nonprofit is called the Union Connection, just because when I started supporting police officers, all law enforcement groups and like websites were like disappearing offline and off Facebook and Instagram and stuff. So I kind of snuck in the back way and they're all part of a union. So that's how I came up with like the Union Connection. And then there's another story with that. But Dan Rocha was the officer that was shot last year. The 25th is going to be his 1 year memorial. They're currently starting the trial. I reached out to his family to see if they wanted to do anything in his name. And we came up with providing scholarships for kids that want to get into public safety or pursuing some sort of public safety as a career choice. Now, my whole thing is that I don't want it to be like write an essay, get a check. So what we're going to do is we're going to do like a fun physical activity day, like where they have to run and do push-ups, like everything that they have to do at the academy. And then we're also going to do like mock oral boards, mock interviews, like things that they actually have to do, you know, in law enforcement, just to make it fun and give them kind of a taste of what it's like to be in law enforcement. So I just launched the website last week. I'm still trying to figure out on all the legalities, if that's a word.
Yeah.
Getting it started up and things like that. But I'm just super excited. I'm not advertising it a lot right now. They're having a problem with finding jurors and making sure the jury is not tainted. So I won't really be doing a whole lot of advertising until after the trial, which is going to be about 3 to 4 weeks long. But yeah, I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
You could have a hide and seek and call it a mock bolo.
Oh, that's funny.
Just saying. I'm just saying. Well, Kelly, I think that's awesome. Thank you.
Have you ever done anything like this before? Created a charitable event? Or is this?
So I have, and I have not been very successful at them. So I did Coffee and Canines, where I partnered with Snohomish County Canines Foundation, and I sampled their coffee, and then they brought dogs out, and so I had things to like sell for Back the Blue Snohomish County, which I do morale boosts when things happen. And then I was selling coffee for them, which is why they brought their canines out. My issue is that if for some reason, because it's controversial, I'm iffy on where I do where I do my events at, because like I still get targeted, you know, I still get nasty emails and nasty messages online. And so I did it outside a gun store in Lake Stevens, because if the officers weren't able to show up, I still had backup, if that makes any sense, you know. It's just unfortunately something I have to think about.
So the reason that I ask is some friends of mine several years ago, their son was murdered in his first year of college down in at Linfield College in Oregon. And they've been doing a memorial golf tournament every year to raise money for scholarships. And so there's an essay contest and there's a judging panel and so on like that. But there's an organization that helps them organize it. And I can get that information. And because obviously, you know, when a mom and dad lose their child to a violent crime like that, it's devastating.
Yeah.
You never get over that.
I would love it.
But the organization helps. So I remember this because I just got an email. The golf tournament's coming up at Echo Falls Golf Course again in a couple of months. So I just got the email. And so that might be a great way to, because they not only do the golf tournament, then they have an auction afterwards where people donate stuff. So you raise even more money that you have available for these scholarships. So I'll get your email address from Brian or somebody, or put it in the chat, and I'll get a name of this organization and send it to you. And maybe you can reach out to them and they might be able to help you make this even more fiscally feasible and take some of the burden.
Yeah, for sure. And my biggest thing lately has been getting an actual team together that wants to publicly support law enforcement. It's kind of sad, but everybody is like, oh, I'll go and complete the morale drop with you, but I'm not going to post online that I support law enforcement. And it's like, okay, well, I can't do that. Like, you have to be the face. You have to be willing to go out there and do both. Like, and that's been my biggest struggle is some people can't take the backlash that they get for supporting law enforcement. And so getting team members to stay around has been the hardest part. So
Yeah, and so I see your email address there. I will reach out to the organization that's helping my friends, and I'll get you their information and then let you take it from there and see if something works out for you guys.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate that. Does anyone else have anything else they want to ask or discuss? Okay. Well, I want to thank you all for being here today, especially our guests. It's great to see your faces. There are plenty of opportunities that Digital PNA can provide each and every one of you, including guests that you know that you might be able to visit or have visit at later dates. We are twice a month. I encourage you to jump onto the Facebook public facing page. We can put that in the chat window as well, so you can find what those other dates are under the event screen and turn around and potentially subscribe. No, say going, whatever, to those. Oh, thank you, Marcel. It's like from my mouth to her little typey hands. Thank you for that. And Kelly, I think you had a few other questions for me after this call, so feel free to stay on. If no one has anything else, I will bid you adieu and have a fantastic rest of your day and week, of course.